So you're looking at ways to train at home, something affordable, and maybe you're just not sure where to begin. I'm going to cover 3 really basic things that you can get. They're all available from Amazon. Quite a few of them are available from your local gun store. And they'll allow you to do some basic training when you're at home. And I got these recently from Amazon. Purchased them all myself, nothing free. But I bought a pack of snap caps. I bought a pink Rhino Laser Training Cartridge for 9mm. They do make them in other calibers as well. And then I also got tap rack training aids. And these will make sense in a minute, and they are also available for other calibers. So for today, I am going to be using a Glock 17 that has a nice, cool little Cerakote job on it that we did. So, yeah, remember, we do Cerakote. To demonstrate these 3 training devices. So, first and foremost, as usual, magazine is empty. Chamber is empty. So the gun is safe and clear. So first thing we're going to open up is our snap caps. So what a snap cap is it is a little cartridge that is not a real cartridge, but it is shaped and spec'd to that of a real cartridge for whatever caliber you're looking at doing. They come in metal, and they come in a metal, or they come in this little hybrid plastic with metal. So this is one I had from the store that I brought home at one point in time. But these are the ones we're going to look at today. And you load them just like you would load live ammunition. I'm just going to put 3 in here. So you got those in there. And then it lets you practice your dry fire and ejecting cartridges. So another thing that snap caps can be used for is, I lost one, it flew somewhere. If you're at the range and you want to practice malfunction drills, you know you got good ammo, you know your gun's good, but you know that stuff can happen. What you can do when you load your magazine is randomly throw one of these in there. Because as you're shooting at the range, you're suddenly going to have a failure to fire. And you're going to have to go through the steps to clear that. So as long as it's a range where you can, pick up your brass, you don't lose your snap caps, that's an additional practice. And then some guns are particular on your firing pin. If it doesn't have something to hit, there's mixed reviews on it, but some people say that it can damage the firing pin, can damage the striker, can damage different elements of the gun. Snap caps give it something to hit. So if you're of that mindset, and I don't know one way or the other on some firearms, but if you're of that mindset, snap caps give it something to hit, and they're available in pretty much every caliber. So you should be able to get a snap cap to use for that process. The next thing I'm going to talk about is really kind of a 2-part deal. I'm going to open up the pink Rhino Laser Training Cartridge in 9mm to go in my Glock 17 that I'm using here. So, a trusty pocket knife. Cut open that seal. So, unboxing pink Rhino. Alright, so it comes just like this. Cartridge, 3 batteries. It comes with a very easy little instruction guide. Tells you how to put it together. It advertises for their Blackbeard AR system, which I can do a video about later. We do have one of those at our store. And then it talks about their Mantis X, which is another advertisement for them. I can do a video about that as well. We also have that at the store. And then it talks about the Mantis Laser Academy, which, again, I have that at the store. I can talk about that as well. So, on this, really, the only thing that we need to look at is the instruction guide for the assembly. The important thing here is the orientation of the batteries. So, looking at this, it looks like the smaller circle part goes toward the back of the cartridge. So we'll take the cartridge out. We've got the cartridge out, and the way that it comes apart is it just unscrews. So pretty easy, normal tech connection. And then I'm going to get the batteries put in it. Drop in there, make sure they stay facing the right way. And then screw that top right back on. Pretty easy. So the way that it works, which you might be able to see there, you'll see it lighten up on my hand, or up here behind me. And what it is that little black part would be where the primer is. So that's what your striker's hitting on the gun. Now, these little black things are little gaskets. So when it goes into the chamber, it's not going to come out. So, get our gun locked open. And then, of course, laser in first. And just push it in there as far as you can. So now it's in there, and all you see is the black part of the cartridge. And then that allows you to shoot the laser. Now, one thing about laser cartridges in a pistol is unless you have a CO2 conversion drop-in system, you're going to have to rack the gun every time. So, we'll go ahead and rack it. Oh, hey, magazine's in there, it's going to lock back. Well, that's where the tap rack training aids come into play. Let me show you how those work. So we'll take the magazine out, leave it locked open for now. Grab one of these out of the package. And they're just shaped kind of like part of a cartridge. And what you do is they got text on one side. I don't know if you can read that or not. Anyway, the text has the caliber and the brand. That needs to be facing up with, of course, the tip facing just like a regular round would. And if you look closely here, it just kind of seats right on in there, right? So push down and get it loaded in and push it back. So what that does is that pushes this part of the follower down that catches the slide. So now we will put our mag back in and we will hit the slide stop, slide release, and it's fine. So again, hey, it didn't lock back, right? So if it's a gun that you don't need the magazine in, of course you don't need that tap rack training aid, but the feel of the magazine is pretty critical in a lot of firearms, or if you have larger hands and you're hanging off without that mag in there. So they're great tools. They're also available for different calibers. I got the one for 9, which also works for 40. And again, it keeps that follower out of the way. So those are the 3 things that are pretty handy when it comes to training at home and how they get used. So those laser cartridges are great. Mantis does have other systems that work in conjunction with them, and that just really comes down to personal preference. If you just want the visual feedback, just that Rhino laser cartridge is enough. If you're wanting the full thing, look into their laser training system, or a lot of times any of those cartridges work with any laser system. So if you already have a training system, you might be able to add additional cartridges one-off without paying a fortune for a whole new system. So again, the 3 things that we covered are snap caps, and how they're good for dry fire practice at home if you want to do that, or drills at the range. Add one in randomly, have your buddy fill your magazine, and put one in every once in a while. Then you're going to be having to go through failure to fire drills. So they're handy in that regard, as long as you're at a range where once you clear it, you'll be able to retrieve it. We covered the laser cartridge that's in here. Now, one thing is how to get it out of there, right? So it's in there, and it's in there by those gaskets. So all you need is a pencil. Put the pencil backwards down the barrel, push, and it pops right on out. So it comes out pretty easy, and then you've got your firearm back ready to go. And then the tap rack training aids, they also kind of need a little trick. If you look on there, there's that little indentation. You'll just need to get something down in there and then push it forward. So not hard, just you might kill your fingers trying to get it out of there otherwise. So push that on out. Got it gone. Gun's back to normal. So those are the 3 different aids. I will link all of them down below. And if you have any questions or have any questions about training or anything else, please just drop it in the comments below, and I will gladly cover all of that as soon as I can on a future video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.